And we have got a great audience here, and I'm going to be getting them to sing a Beach Boys classic. That's because 50 years ago, they released an album that was so influential that John Lennon called it the greatest album ever made. Let's go over to Matt Allwright, who can tell us more about the Pet Sounds story.
I may not always love you. Everybody had a round, round, get around, I get around. God only knows what I'd be without you.
Pet Sounds. It's not an album of animal noises, but a record that consistently is voted by critics as one of the best ever made. Bizarre, then, that not that many people have listened to it or even heard of it, I dare say. Which I think is a pity, because Pet Sounds fundamentally challenged people's ideas of what pop music could achieve. It even gave the Beatles something to think about. If only other albums could do that, wouldn't it be nice?
Wouldn't it be nice if
Brian Wilson, who many say was the musical genius behind the Beach Boys, first appeared with his brothers Carl and Dennis along with Mike Love and Al Jardine in 1961, producing hits which reflected teenage loves of surfing and driving around.
get around?
But in December 1964, Brian had a severe panic attack on board a plane. With the pressures of playing live taking their toll, the band would tour without him, and he concentrated on recording something rather special instead.
The new project was Pet Sounds, but to make the record he wanted to make, Brian intentionally turned his back on the formula which had sold millions of Beach Boys records. He wasn't talking about cars and girls anymore. Now he was talking about his feelings. This wasn't just genius, it took guts.
I'm trying to create an atmosphere of love and harmony, angelic and harmonic. I wanted people to hear a love vibration like.
Put your head on my shoulder.
The album would showcase symphonic arrangements, elaborate vocal harmonies, coupled with bizarre sound effects.
All treated with a wall of sound mixing technique.
Which meant that their music sounded fuller and richer than ever before. Throughout 1965, aged only 23, he arranged, composed and produced Pet Sounds using session musicians and not his bandmates. When they returned from touring, Brian introduced them to the new set of songs.
The reaction was bad. The Beach Boys didn't like that sound. I was confused. I couldn't understand why they wouldn't like it. There's a musical change that they didn't like, and then they started liking it later.
The recording process, well, that was hard work. It wasn't easy. We had to adjust to the demands under Brian.
I said, we're going to show the world a good love album. I felt it in my chest, in my heart. I may not always love you, as long as there are stars above you. You never need to doubt it. I'll make you so sure about it.
God only knows what I'd be with.
I was nervous as hell while we were recording it, because I wanted it to sound really good. But I remember Carl saying, do you really want me to sing God Only Knows? I said, yeah. Because I wanted Carl to have a chance to sing.
Because maybe his voice had been hidden up to that point
Right.
before then.
Right.
When Pet Sounds was completed, unfortunately, it wasn't the hit that the Beach Boys had hoped for.
But that wasn't going to deter Brian. He was convinced he had to carry on making more adventurous music. And the next single the Beach Boys released, recording during the Pet Sounds sessions, proved him dead right. Their biggest hit to date, Good Vibrations.
I'm picking up good vibrations. She's giving me the excitation.
Gotta keep those loving good.
Vibrations are happening with her.
Brian comes in.
Gotta keep those love good.
Oh man, that's purity.
After Pet Sounds, Brian went into a state of physical and mental decline. The album, however, still continues to grow in reputation.
We ventured off into a new kind of a trip. It's our best album for expressing love.
Oh, Carolina.
And he did it, influencing thousands of great artists over decades since. The good news for us is But 50 years later, he's still sharing the love.
Wouldn't it be nice if we were older? Then we wouldn't have to wait so long. And wouldn't it be nice?
Cue the music! Are you ready? Best singing voices.